Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Bomber and Griffin. Today we are talking about Whiplash. It's a movie I absolutely love. What are your initial thoughts on this?
I thought it was good. I actually enjoyed it. Quite a lot. After watching it, I was like, yeah, that was all right. But then the more I thought about it, the more I liked it.
Yeah,
Um,
it's been one over time. The more I've seen it, the more I really enjoy it. I resonate with the message of what's going on much more than like what it is at face value about drumming. If you can replace the
hmm,
drumming with anything that you're really passionate about, and you know, it works, and I
yeah.
really enjoy this movie. There's something about someone who's willing to risk it all that really resonates with me in this film, uh, with Neiman, and
I was wondering if you pronounce his name correctly.
no, I won't. I
Yeah, I was gonna say Neiman the whole time.
Yeah, no, we're mispronouncing. J.K. Simmons says it, so it's okay.
Yeah.
This is the first time I seen Miles Teller in a movie, um, and was absolutely blown away. I then watched him in a movie called 21 and Over, which is a kind of 21 Jump Street kind of comedy movie, right? Um, and he's like the douchebag friend that swears and just does funny shit, and it's weird because I was just so used to this. And he was later cast as Reed Richards in the Fan Four Stick movie, so I was briefly excited for a while when the casting was brilliant, but we all know how that turned out, and that yeah,
It was a fantastic movie.
that's why it's called
10 out of 10.
Fan Four Stick. God, I have seen it, and oh man, how can you get it so wrong? Just the basics, like it's
I haven't seen it all. I only know it by reputation, really.
yeah. Well, there was a good movie in there, and then it just got hacked to pieces, and it's a superhero movie with
Kind of like
one.
Spider-Man 3-ish.
No, this is horrendous. Like the way
Oh,
it was chopped out. There's one action sequence that you might not even be able to call an action sequence at the end for 5 minutes. That's it.
like a fight scene?
Yeah, like conflict. Like
Just like,
imagine.
it's two people talking, but they slightly raise their voice this time. They're
Yeah,
using their outside
they're
voices
usually outside voices.
indoors.
Yeah, it's like imagine if it's the first Spider-Man movie and it ends with Peter chasing down his uncle's killer, but before that we didn't have like where the part where he fights Flash or anything. Like it's just even then that movie is better than Fan Four Stick. There's nothing that's
Yeah.
it was
Maybe it's
just boring.
kind of easy to forget that Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man straight up murders a guy.
Well, he did tell Mary Jane in the third movie that he tripped. You know, they tried to walk their way around it, but not enough people watched the third one. They go, that was murder.
All
Um,
right, let's get back to Whiplash. We
yeah,
kind
I
of
was about to, but yes, Miles Teller. This is the first time I've ever seen him, and this is fantastic. My guy
yeah, I
is
don't think I've
amazing.
seen him in anything else either.
But now you know, and our other powerhouse of an actor, J.K. Simmons, as Fletcher, is terrifyingly real. I've seen people like this and worked with people and bosses like this, and it's not
Oh
fun
yeah,
at all. And
yeah. No, people like this very much exist.
yeah, and
I
there's
had a few
this.
people in mind when I saw it.
Yeah. You do know the people, and at least Fletcher has like a motive behind what he's doing. It's not just aimless. You know,
I
his whole
mean,
speech
sometimes
about.
it does seem like he's just being a jerk for no
Oh yeah,
reason.
he is. I mean, there's
Um,
no need to tell Neiman to be there at 6 in the morning when the class starts at 9. That's just to piss him off.
I mean, there's also the scene where he kicks Metz out for like Metz is the fat guy
Yeah.
who
There's no
thinks he's
fucking
funny.
Happy Meal down there. No, it's Mars bar, Snickers bar. Fuck. Yeah. No, it was
uh,
that your mind's too busy thinking of Happy Meals instead of being on pitch. I
yeah,
I was
but he was on pitch. He was fine.
yeah, but he didn't know, and that was just as bad. Um,
And
I
then the guy who was actually on pitch, who didn't say anything, so probably didn't know
yeah.
or was trying to hide it. He gets off fine, which is a bit weird.
Oh yeah. Um,
Um,
but yeah, I do like his speech about how there's no two words in the English language more harmful than good job. Like the
hmm.
idea behind what he's trying to do. Although yes,
Yeah.
he is being an absolute prick sometimes. Like there's a line and he crosses it a few times for sure.
There is merit to his philosophy.
Yeah, I mean he talks about the whole story with Charlie Parker and how if he never had the symbol thrown at his head, he never would have gone on to be as great as he
No, this
was.
is actually something I've been, because like I said before we started, I've been thinking about the movie all day. It's like, he looks at the story, that story, and he decides that he wants to be the guy who throws the symbol.
Yeah.
Um, but he's like, there's the scene of him playing the piano. He's very musically talented.
Oh yeah.
So I like the part that confused me is why he didn't want to try to be the next Charlie Parker.
I suppose at some point in his life, that time had passed, and then he
I guess.
became, he knew the music and stuff, but
Mm.
his time to do that had passed, and maybe he can set up someone else to do it.
Yeah, I guess that's probably it.
And yeah, it's very interesting, the philosophy. It's nothing's black and white in this film, and I love the dynamic that the two of
Well, I
them have.
mean, his shirt is black.
Oh yeah, well the show always. He's in pretty decent shape in this movie, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Does the J.K. Simmons, does it stand for jacked? Because
yeah, of course. It says it on his birth certificate, Jacked Simmons, and he just came out with just war torn muscles. Like, it was a weird birth, but he went on to be a great actor, so that's all that matters. J.K. Simmons Fletcher, he has some of the funniest lines I've ever fucking heard. Like, when you first watch it, you're taking it seriously because it's supposed to be taken seriously. And when he's going off, the intention is to fucking, you know, feel the pressure of what's being said. But when the more you watch it and the more you're really aware of what he's doing, the funnier it gets. Like when
yeah.
I've got a bunch of quotes here.
Oh yeah.
Oh my dear God, are you one of those single tier people? Do I look like a double fucking rainbow to you?
Yeah.
My favorite one is you give a retard a calculator and he'll try to turn on the TV. That one caught me off guard so much first time round. Or the no, there's another one where he talks about the books. He says, if I see one of these around, I swear I'm going to stop being so fucking polite. And then has some guy come over and get the fuck out of my face before I demolish you.
Yeah.
Right after. There's some great lines. Everything. Nothing's dry when he's not just saying fuck you, try harder. He's saying there's no fucking Mars bar down there, look up at me.
Yeah. He's very creative.
Yeah.
Um
And I appreciate that. It's entertaining on two different levels.
yeah.
So the movie's very much about drumming, obviously. That's not something I personally resonate with. I have a love for music, but not, drumming itself specifically. But I always took this as...
You tried to play the drums. I know you had a drum kit.
I was never a drummer. Nah.
That was just a...
It was a figment of your
imagination.
It was a figment of your imagination. It just didn't exist, man.
Okay,
but
maybe
I always am able to, switch out the meaning behind what he's doing for anything that is taking place in my life. So a great example for me would be, I think of YouTube the same way that he thinks about drumming. I want to do it every single day, and I want to be great. And some of the ideas that Neiman holds when he's talking at the dinner table scene, and he says that he'd rather die broke at 34 and have people at a dinner table talk about him than to live to be rich and sober at 90 and no one remember who he was. There's something about his way of thinking that parallels mine so much. I think I've got problems too. And it's because of that way that the film resonates with me. I just like it that much more, outside of the fact that it is a masterpiece. It's just so tightly cut together, and it's so personal. Like, for me, this movie, it feels like it's 40 minutes, 50 at most. And
Yeah.
I have no idea what the actual runtime is, but it feels so quick because there's
Like
just...
an hour 40.
Yeah, it's so fast. You know, from the car crash and everything that happens there, all the way to the end, it's just so quick. And I absolutely love that about it too.
Yeah.
There was the original concepts for this film were that it was going to be a thriller. Like, that's the way it was written, to be, you know, a psychological thriller movie, and that's really cool. Still,
Like,
I'm very happy with what we got.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't. How did it even work as a thriller? I'm trying to wrap my head around that.
Just how, like, intense it can be. You know, a thriller doesn't necessarily mean it's a horror movie, but, you know,
Yeah.
like
Two different words
that
for a
tension
reason.
of not knowing whether J.K. Simmons is going to rip your head off, and performing. You could definitely put a lot of tension into that. And
There is a lot of tension in this movie, at
yeah.
least in the first time you watch it. Like, I thought he was gonna straight up drop dead at the end.
Yeah, dude. He plays and he
Oh
plays
yeah,
and he plays.
we didn't do a spoiler warning.
Ah,
We should.
yeah, shit.
Um,
Spoiler warning. Literally spoiled all the best bits and the ending. And now we're like, oh, spoiler warning, guys. Yeah, sorry. If, 13 minutes in, we've already ruined everything there is to ruin. So, yeah, might as well stick around. And if we haven't sold you on it already, go watch it, alright?
Oh yeah, no, it's a fantastic movie.
Shit, I did a spoiler warning.
We need to remember that more.
I wrote spoilers at the top of my notes to not forget it as the first thing I should bring up, but I've clearly forgotten it. Well, there goes that.
That's where writing notes gets you.
Yeah. That's where writing notes. And look at you, off the top of your head.
Yeah.
So this, I mentioned it the other night, this film's made by Damien Chazelle. He is the director and writer of this film, and he couldn't get funding for the film, so he turned it into a short film, submitted it into a film festival, and then the short film ended up winning, and then he got funding soon after. The idea...
Is there more we can watch that short film? I heard about that because I was looking for the movie a bit myself.
Yes, I think J.K. Simmons might be in the short film, but the lead isn't Miles Teller. This is thinking back to 2014, and I think that's right.
Would be deepest lore.
The deepest of lore.
Sean Casey.
Yeah, but Damien Chazelle, he based this off his own experiences when he was playing in band and the type of teacher that he had, and he thought, you know what, this could make a pretty good movie. And as far as a first-time director as on a movie, this is a literal 10 out of 10. This was perfect.
His first?
This is his first movie.
Holy shit. He
Yeah.
did an alright job.
Yeah, he made a very personal, based off his own experiences.
Since?
He has since gone on to make La La Land. That was his second movie.
Yes.
So yeah, a big step up, a huge musical with Emma Stone and Ryan Gosling. And that's the only musical I think I enjoy. It's the only one I like. Again, because there's more to it than just we're loud and dancing in the streets. There's an actual real story to it. But that's a movie for another time. But yeah, Damien Chazelle, he wanted to make this very personal movie with Whiplash, and it's so close. There's so many close-ups, and you never once have a scene without Neiman. The entire movie is with him, and I think it's just brilliant. Now, this movie has like a hard-on for car crashes. Now, I have to kind of elaborate on what I mean by that.
It's only one, though.
There's three all up. Because Miles Teller, prior to this movie, was in a car crash, and you can see his scars in the movie on his face. and then Neiman
Oh.
obviously gets into a car crash in this movie. And during the time they were filming, Damien Chazelle got into a car crash.
Brilliant. They should have just used the footage from that, saved themselves the effort.
Yeah, I know. But, getting the cameras out there, thinking ahead of time, that just didn't happen. This film, amazingly, was shot over 19 days.
Yes.
The entire
That's
shoot.
incredibly short.
That is 19 days. I mean, Damien Chazelle, he really knew what he wanted and was concise. And during the 19 days, he got in a car crash. he was just rushing from set to set, just so fast. He was living the nightmare again. He's got, instead of drumsticks this time, it's like a camera in his passenger seat before he's taken out by a truck. Getting up and he's bleeding, just limping off. He's like, nah, J.K. Simmons is going to yell at me if I don't get there on time. J.K. Simmons, he won 47 awards for his role as Fletcher, which is just amazing.
Any Oscars or anything? Or
I'm not sure. There was so many. I think he did for supporting actor. Maybe. Again, this is another thing you'd have to check. It wouldn't surprise me because, this was amazing. During the more intense practice scenes in this film, Damien Chazelle wouldn't yell cut, just so that Miles Teller would keep drumming until he was just completely exhausted. Just had nothing left.
I guess Miles Teller would have had to have had experience with drumming.
Yes. So there was a visual dub used at some point, but a lot of Andrew's drumming was performed by Miles Teller himself. About 40%.
When there's a wide shot of it, you can't really.
Yeah, you can't really cut around it. But about 40% of his drumming was used in the movie and in the soundtrack. Now, amazingly, despite how great it is, critical reception, how much you've enjoyed it and I've enjoyed it, it was one of the lowest grossing movies ever to be nominated for an Academy Award for Best Picture, which is sad. It sucks because this is amazing.
What is it with so many good movies like Bombing, like The Thing and
Fight Club, American Psycho?
All of these movies are widely regarded as brilliant, but they all failed at the box office. Well, not failed necessarily, but
I can understand with American Psycho. The problem was people thought they were getting an actual horror movie, not a comedy. So when you watch it as just a horror movie and you're seeing all these weird scenes, you don't know whether you're supposed to be laughing or not. I can see how that's confusing. People that aren't going there for a deeper experience are just going, yeah, it wasn't scary, it was just weird. With Fight Club, it was a marketing thing again. Fight Club was marketed on MMA fights and, that it was this fighting movie, but it opens with support groups for testicular cancer. So I can see how the guy that watches MMA and boxing goes in and goes, what the fuck is this shit? And then tells his friends, don't go and see it.
Yeah.
Those I get, but this, I don't understand. There can't be any misconception about this. So I don't know why it grossed so little, but it did. I don't have the exact figure with me, but it's sad. This film was used for Weird Al Yankovic's upcoming mandatory fun tour, and J.K. Simmons
was used for it.
Yeah, it was.
Like a promotional thing.
And J.K. Simmons was also in the trailer for the mandatory fun tour.
Is J.K. Simmons going on tour with Weird Al Yankovic?
J.K. Simmons is Weird Al Yankovic. Boom.
Damn, J.K. Simmons would make a better Weird Al Yankovic than Daniel Radcliffe.
I was just thinking of the movie with him. He's got the mustache and the hair and he's trying to nail Madonna. That's amazing. Oh god. That movie comes out pretty soon. I'm looking forward to talking about that. J.K. Simmons, he also suffered 2 cracked ribs in this film. When Miles Teller tackled him during the last 2 days of shooting, the scene when, fuck you, Fletcher, and he just has enough, which, I think
Yeah.
we've all mentally been there at one point with these people before.
I mean, this guy literally, like, less than 10 minutes ago got into a car accident and still just, like, limped his way
Yeah, dude, it's
into the
that level
performance.
of like commitment. He will die for it. It's
Yeah.
it's it's that kind of stuff. I don't know. It resonates with me. I keep beating a dead horse and repeating myself, but I feel the same way. What else am I living for? This is what I do. And
I mean, I resonate more with Fletcher because I like throwing chairs at people.
yeah, look, when we talk about him crossing the line, hurling a chair at someone, if he didn't duck, he could have died.
Yeah,
Very
no,
well have died.
I was thinking, like, I was like, it's not a question on whether or not I would have like the determination to push through, like getting into a car crash. If I was fucking Neiman, I would have died in the first bloody lesson
Yeah.
because I wouldn't have ducked.
Yeah, I know. Imagine,
Like
right?
either I wouldn't duck and I'd just like not react at all in time, but I feel like my instinct would be more to bring my arms up, and that would probably break my fucking arm.
Now I can't drum. My forearms are snapped backwards.
Yeah.
Thanks, Fletcher. Yeah, can you imagine that class playing out, right? Where he just hurls the chair and it just fucking like decapitates Neiman. All the
Yeah.
band's just looking at Fletcher like, fuck, this teacher does take no shit. Fuck, we better make sure we're in tune this time.
It's just like, oh, what's this? They like reach for their phone, fucking dial the police 'cause he murdered a kid.
Yeah, the teaching methods were too much. Yeah, I really want an edit of the movie now where like he hurls the chair, it just decapitates him and then just cuts straight to credits. I want a 15, 20-minute cut of this movie now.
Hmm.
Uh, so, yeah, he crosses the line for sure.
But he wouldn't agree.
No, of course not. He was trying to make the next Charlie Parker by attempted murder.
Yeah, actually, there's a point in this movie. They say like Charlie Parker is the greatest musician of the 20th century.
I don't
it's
know
like-
about that.
I think Neiman says it at the dinner table, or I don't know if he's talking about Charlie Parker, but he says like
Yeah, I think
that
so.
he
Yeah.
considers being the greatest musician of the 20th century as success. And it's like, excuse me, jazz is fucking gay. That's my biggest problem with jazz. I hate it.
I
This
don't mind
movie,
it.
I hate it.
I mean, well,
Actually, I did find it funny. There's like a poster in the classroom. Like, if you fail here, you can end up in a rock band or something.
yeah.
I just thought that was really funny as like a dig.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I never listened to jazz much personally, but Damien Chazelle's second film, La La Land, taught me a lot about jazz and why people like it. And it's that there's a lot of songs that aren't already written. When you play jazz in a club, you have to literally just riff off each other and come up with stuff on the fly. And it's that almost competitiveness. You're like playing instruments against each other.
Okay. That's kind of cool, I guess.
You know, where almost every other genre of music, is pre-written. It's not always the case with jazz, but
yeah.
like the songs
I
Caravan
guess
and
it's like
Whiplash.
improvised sometimes.
Yeah. Ryan Gosling's character in La La Land's really obsessed with it, and the way that he talks about it, you can see why people get behind it. But people don't want to hurl chairs at each other's heads anymore, so we can't have, no wonder jazz is dying, as J.K. Simmons puts it. So the drum solo at the end of the film almost wasn't going to be in the movie, which doesn't make much sense to me. And
how was it supposed to end then? With him just like walking out?
yeah, I don't know.
It's just like, oh, okay, that's the end. he decided, yeah, no, fuck music. I'm done with this shit.
Yeah. That. And then just before he leaves, walking outside the building, J.K. Simmons hurls a chair at him from behind and just murders him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how it goes. Uh, the studio gave Damien Chazelle a note saying, and I quote, "He's good at drumming. We get it," in an attempt to try and like take it out. But Chazelle disagreed, and he kept the drum solo in the film.
I mean,
Obviously,
yeah. I'm really like, if you, I guess they mean like cut it down, but it's like I feel like it works because it goes on for so long, and there's a lot happening in that scene other than the drumming with like uh Terrence Fletcher's like how he's reacting to it.
yeah,
Because I think one of my favorite moments of the film is in that scene when he's like going at it so hard he knocks over one of his cymbals,
yeah,
and Fletcher comes over and he fixes it
yeah,
so that he can keep going with his solo. And I think that's an incredibly powerful like moment
yeah.
that like
I
shows
yeah.
that Fletcher has like come to respect him very greatly
Oh
and
yeah,
has like finally seen.
I really enjoy their dynamic. It's almost
Mm,
like a loving relationship. They both want the absolute best, but will fight and then come to an agreement.
yeah.
They're friendly, but then they're not. You know,
Mm,
even J.K. Simmons bringing in the leprechaun, as he likes to call him, was
yeah.
basically there just to bait Neiman into being better and pushing him harder. Um, you know, things like that. They're fantastic, and I
Yeah.
just I can't express enough how much I love this movie. Uh, the title of this film refers to many things, which I really enjoy. It's not just we're calling it Whiplash after the song. You know, it's after the song that he performs, but it's also a common injury from car crashes. You know, and the beating of a drum is similar to the cracking or lashing of a whip, or like the abuse he suffers from Fletcher. Like it means so much, which I also appreciate. The movie's got so much to offer. Um, Now we were just talking about the ending, and I'd like to talk more about what you interpret the ending as. Because I've got my own ideas, and Damien Chazelle has kind of expressed what he likes to think what happened. But what do you think of the ending of this?
I like my opinion on it like as an ending or what it like
As an
represents.
ending, what it means, what you take away from it.
Well, I think that I mean it's clear that the movie's like implying that he has become like the next like great, or
Yeah,
he had he's on the path of it. And and that's I guess it kind of I don't I'm not a fucking film analysis man. This is your job, you asshole.
no, no. I just wanted to know what you thought. You don't have to be super technical.
um,
We pride ourselves on not being professional. Um,
I I enjoyed it. It it's an important because I have been looking into it, seeing other people's interpretations and stuff, and it's clear that the by ending it in this way, the film is implicitly asking the question of whether or not all of the abuse that Terrence Fletcher does to the
yeah,
protagonist was worth it. And I don't know if it's necessarily true that, well, because I think it's less the abuse and more just Neiman's determination and like passion. Um,
yeah,
because when he started the solo, Fletcher didn't want him to do that. He him being on stage at all was just a trick to make fun of him.
yeah,
And I figured he has the scene with his dad after he completely fails to play a song he's never heard of, which
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
And then he's like he. I don't remember if he actually says anything to his dad. He just like he turns around and goes back on stage,
Yeah.
and he's just like, because I kind of, I don't. I'm pretty sure he was like basically done with music in between the time he left Schaefer and
Yes.
yeah. So it's like I figured it's like at that point he was just like, fuck it. What do I have to lose, right? I'm not even trying to like get a career in music. So I'm just gonna go out. I'm gonna show them what I can do
Yeah.
when I'm not being held back and fucking made a fool out of basically.
Yeah. Yeah. What did you
And
think of
then
that twist, man?
uh I the second he was talking to the lawyer, I was like, you fucking idiot. He knows. You
Yeah.
you
What?
tackled him to the ground. And then a week later, he gets kicked out because of a mystery fucking source saying that he's been an asshole.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, he's gonna fucking know it was you, Neiman.
Yeah. Well, everyone else would be in
Um,
the band and too afraid to do it. You know, he was done, and his
and it's also, actually, yeah, this is also something I wanted to mention. It's like everyone says, like, Fletcher goes like way too far in a few plays, but it's like these people aren't chained to their instruments.
no.
Any one of them at any time could just be like, yeah, this is a bit much. Fuck this.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna play hockey instead.
Just gonna play hockey. Let's
That's
go. I'm gonna join the chess club. Fuck this
yeah.
shit.
It's like yeah. The and that's kind of what Fletcher says too. Like people who would be discouraged, he doesn't want there anyway.
Yeah.
Um.
Yeah, it's kind of like he's trying to actively scare anyone away that does not have the spine to try.
Yeah.
Which I can respect to some degree. Maybe not
Mm.
throwing chairs at people's heads. You know,
Yeah.
I don't know about that. Imagine, I keep thinking about it. Imagine if Neiman just died. He just took a
Yeah.
chair to the face and like fell over and kicked half the drum kit over with him. Everyone's just silent. J.K. Simmons like, oh shit! I really thought
Yeah.
he'd duck that.
Yeah,
Fuck.
I watched. It's kind of funny. I watched Hardcore Henry with my girlfriend the other day. She loved it. But you know the scene where Akan like puts a plate through someone's
Yeah.
head?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just what I'm imagining. The chair just fucking stuck in his forehead.
Oh no! I thought you were gonna reference the scene where Henry uses his own eye to like decapitate Akan.
Nah, yeah, you know the scene in the strip club.
Yeah.
Yeah, nah.
I know what you're talking about. I just thought the chair should do something like that. Just at the jaw, just take the top of his head off. Oh god. So back on the topic of the ending. Both me and Damien Chazelle really share the same idea of what should happen after the film ends and what it means. One of my absolute favorite scenes is just the look that his dad gives him right after he's finished the solo, or during the solo when it gets like really quiet or whatever.
Yeah. It's a look that says, "Man, I am so proud of my son and respect his life choices."
No. For me, I always took it as the look from his dad is, I've lost him. It's Charlie Parker all over again. It's done. He could have walked away from this. It could have been over. He could have had a normal life. He could have lived to be rich, sober at 90. But going out there and not just performing Caravan perfectly, but continuing it, just prior to that performing scene, Fletcher says, this is an audience that never forgets. If you muck up or if you do something spectacular, you can go all the way. And, once he performs that, Caravan perfectly and then continues and just blows everyone away that, yeah, he has made it. He has done it. And Damien Chazelle likes to think or believe that he does die full of heroin at 34. So that it's a really depressing ending. It's not a good ending.
I actually heard there was supposed to be, or like, I don't know if it was like a joke Damien Chazelle said, or he said apparently at one point he was supposed to put like an after credits scene of something like that.
I'm not sure because Damien Chazelle, he wanted to like
Or
inspire
like have like an
discussion.
epilogue or something.
Yeah, he wanted to really inspire a discussion and a debate and leave it a bit more open to interpretation. Are we happy for Neiman, or are we like lamenting the loss of his humanity? You know, how much is too far? Is it worth it?
I mean, I stopped kind of sympathizing with him as a person when he broke up with his girlfriend. At that scene, I was just like, wow, what a fucking dickhead.
See, that's where I resonate with it. I do.
No, it's like the words he chooses to use. It's like, yeah, I get what he's saying, but he just like puts her down in a really mean way.
He's
I
just
feel
bluntly honest without ever considering her feelings. Yeah, I would.
he's just like, yeah, you're not gonna amount to anything. I don't
Yeah,
have time for you.
that's not nice at all. I would never do it like that. But you know, it's more the idea that he's willing to give up absolutely everything, including happiness in a relationship, to try and chase this, that I more resonate with.
Yeah, no, that's why I understand what
Yeah,
where he's going with it, but
he's
wow,
very
what a prick.
very brutally honest, and it's for the most part I would say that he's probably right, but it still doesn't make it okay to say. You know.
But back to the ending,
Yeah.
the implication that he would, you know, grow old, or not grow old, the opposite of grow old.
Yeah.
Unless you consider 30 to be old. And then die at 30. I don't even necessarily, because he would, at least at the time of the dinner scene, would consider that to be better than the alternative, and that's, you know, he chose the path that he's on.
Yeah.
So I don't really I think it's more respectable than lamentable.
Yeah.
Because, you know, he made his choice. He could have walked away and he chose not to. So he's gonna be out where he's at, and for better or for worse.
Yeah, it's an ending I really enjoy. Not only is the whole movie this perfectly tight-knit piece, but that ending leaves it kind of open-ended. Is this a good thing or a bad thing? I love that look from his dad. It's such a short snippet, but you can see like almost his jaw drop and the sadness in his eyes that he's lost his son. Like, that's it. It's over. They're impressed. He's just going to go on. He's going to do this, and his future will become whatever.
Oh yeah, I brought up the dinner scene a few times because it's quite an important scene for Neiman as a character. But man, the rest of his family are fucking asshole.
Yeah, you know, that's what it's like when you're trying to pursue or enjoy something that your family just has no interest in, doesn't understand. You know, like that's like me trying to explain everything I'm doing to my dad. You know, he's like,
yeah,
I don't understand it. I don't get it. And because you can't understand, you can't have a conversation about it. And yeah, I do get it. I do love at the very like. There's so many quick-witted lines in this movie.
Oh yeah, when he says like, "Oh, that's what the NFL will never say to you."
Yeah, 4 words you'll never hear. What was the line though? Come play with us. 4 words from the NFL you will never hear. It's very quick, and there's a lot like that. You know, especially with Fletcher and the things that he says as you go back and you watch it. And yeah, there's just nothing bad I can think of to say about this.
So is this one of the few things you would give a 10 out of 10, up there with Breaking Bad and other things? I've forgotten what else you give a 10
yes.
out of 10.
Yes. As far as Whiplash is concerned, there's not a single thing wrong with it. It's so well paced and knit together. The ending solo, as far as the climax, is phenomenal. You know, I have it in 4K, so when you're watching like the sticks hit like the hi-hats and you see the sweat, coming off of them or the blood. It looks insanely good, you know. And I love that through the entire time he's playing it, it's like almost 7 minutes or something. When he starts, you've got an entire wave of like Fletcher's emotions through it. He starts off with like, "I will gut you like a pig," to "What the hell are you doing, man?" And then like fixing his hi-hat and then letting him go and smiling at the end. There's so much you're getting. That's just, I don't want to say silent because you've got music playing, but that's happening not happening in the foreground.
It's I guess
And
understated.
God, can he play? He's going so goddamn fast.
Yeah.
He's on another
It's
planet.
It's like you mentioned the film going very quick, but when it gets to that solo, it feels like it goes for like 20 minutes.
Not for me.
It just feels like he plays for a really long time. But I guess he kind of does because it's like 7 straight minutes.
Yeah. It's 5 to
it's
7
like the
minutes.
drum version of Freebird.
Yes, yeah, that's what it's like. No, it's, I don't know, when he slows right down and then speeds back up, I kind of get in this memorized state with it.
Like, it was when he slows down. That was when I thought he was just gonna drop.
He just fucking dies.
Man, wouldn't that be an ending? He just fucking dies.
He just falls over forward. Neiman, what are you doing, man? he just unresponsive on the ground, and then Fletcher just keeps asking, "What are you doing, man?" Fucking bleeding.
I guess he
not
didn't have it
moving.
up.
Yeah, I guess he didn't have it after all. Then hurls a chair at his corpse.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the real ending to this film that Damien Chazelle wanted, but obviously it couldn't happen.
Yeah.
What else happened in this? So the popcorn bucket he eats out of when he's at the movies with his dad, I have that.
The same one?
The exact same one. Same size, same color.
Rooting through the trash cans on the set?
I did. It took a lot of effort to get it. I was 14 at the time. Had to take a plane to America. I knew they were only shooting for 19 days. Had to get in those trash cans, dig around, got the thing, got it back here, and I eat popcorn out of it every now and then. It's a good trip. Made friends with a few homeless people over there.
Yeah.
LA, man, the land of dreams.
Yeah, I reckon.
It's insane, the homeless.
It's set in New York.
I don't know. God damn it. Don't tell me I flew to the wrong state and I grabbed the wrong popcorn bucket.
Don't they say that Schaefer, don't they say it's in New York?
Yeah, I think so. God damn it. Then whose popcorn bucket do I have? So, in other news, actually, we'll just summarize our thoughts on Whiplash real quick. I love it. I absolutely love this movie. The more I watch it, the more I enjoy it. Is this something you might give another watch one day, or?
Yeah, no, I can definitely see myself chucking this on. Yeah, no, actually, I did want to mention. You mentioned renting it on YouTube.
Yeah.
It was. I went to. There's no option to rent this movie. You can only buy it. So I have it permanently on YouTube now. I can watch it whenever I want.
I meant renting it through Amazon Prime. You can rent it on there.
Ah.
Yeah.
I didn't think of that.
But it's money well spent. Now you can always watch it.
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah, no. Amazon Prime didn't even occur to me.
Oh, that's where I found it. But I have the 4K Blu-ray, so I
don't want to give Jeff Bezos any more money than he already has. He doesn't need it.
Fair enough.
I'm supporting local businesses.
Local businesses, YouTube, the massive conglomerate. Yes.
They're owned by Google.
Yeah. So that's Whiplash. It's great. If you guys haven't seen it, go out and see it, please. It's one of my favorites.
I mean,
I think this has your stamp of approval too.
I doubt people who haven't seen it would have just sat through us talking about it for 45 minutes.
You never know. There's some weirdos that watch my stuff. But not
Maybe.
you though, the one that's listening right now. You're super
Yeah,
cool.
you specifically
You
are
yeah, you listening
our
right
biggest
now.
fan.
You actually are the only person that listens the whole way through, and I love you for
Probably.
that. Actually, we got about 20 to 30 people listening each time on average.
Are they like? Because obviously you're the only one who can check like retention.
Yeah, no, they do.
They make it like a fair way through.
There's a lot that watch the entire thing, and it's weird to me that there's someone else here in this conversation right now that I just don't know.
Yeah. In the future, somebody will be listening to this. That's actually a weird thing to think about. Let's not dwell on it.
Yeah, but if you're
Um,
listening, you're still here. I love you, man or woman. I love you guys. You
I
guys are
can't
great.
say that because I have a girlfriend. She might get unhappy,
Yeah,
especially
no,
if
Jackson
women watch
doesn't
this
love you.
channel. But that's unlikely.
Jackson does not love you at all. He's like, no, you, no matter what you give me, it's never enough. I live it every day. He'll never tell me he loves me. Anyway, uh, outside of
What else
Whiplash,
have we got to talk about?
the Mario movie, it's finally got its poster.
I have not seen this.
Yeah, Chris Pratt,
Is it
Jack
live
Black.
action or is it just are these
It's
just the voice actors?
voice actors. It's Illumination.
That's
So
so
the guys that
disappointing.
made Minions: The Rise of Gru.
I was expecting it to be like the Sonic movie.
No,
Chris
unfortunately.
Pratt,
Can you
Mario.
imagine Jack Black practically as Bowser? Like, that's amazing.
Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, last time they tried a live action Mario movie, it didn't go so
It
well.
didn't go so well. And as far as a still image goes as a poster, we get a trailer in a couple of days. This podcast will be out
Do
after
you
the
have a
trailer.
picture of the poster on you, or like, we'll look
Sorry?
it up? Do you have a picture of the poster to send me, or do I have to look it up?
I can't
Oh.
find it. I just don't want to be
Hey,
clicking
I'll
too
find it.
much. Yeah, just find it. It's everywhere at the moment. As far as the poster goes, it looks really good. Yeah, the trailer comes out in a couple of days, and it'll be out by the time this podcast is up. So we haven't seen it yet. I can't comprehend what the hell that's gonna look like. But
Oh, cool. It's just a bunch of Mario stuff. That's about what I
it
expected.
looks good. But I wish they had the actual voice actors that they've had for years and years and years, and they wanted to do it, specifically the guy that voices Mario, and they were like, no, we want Chris Pratt. Why?
See, yeah, that is weird. If they're not going live action, why would they even bother changing the voice actors?
No, I don't
And who-
understand. It's like,
Hey,
no,
like,
we're
Charlie
gonna
Day's
we're gonna
Luigi?
upset and stir up more people by casting Chris Pratt, that people just have to see this. Like, if you'd cast all the right people, everyone would go, oh yeah, it's the Mario movie, we might go and see it. It'll be good because it's the right cast, the right look. But you'll get more people to go because it's celebrities. It's not to say that the guy who voices Mario is not a celebrity. He is dear to my heart, alright? But you're going to cause more of an uproar when you cast Jack Black as Bowser. People are like, I have to see this now. And it's working, because I have to see this now.
Yeah.
Something about Miss Mullins, she's the man, as Bowser. Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong. I can't wait to see a stoner version of Donkey Kong somehow slip its way into Mario. Charlie Day, he's voicing Luigi. Like, the cast is unreal.
Charlie Day as Luigi might be the most accurate of all.
Yeah, he definitely seems like the most fitting. I mean, god damn, Jack Black as Bowser. Have you seen some of like the people animated, Bowser with his voice from other movies? Please tell me.
I've seen a couple.
Yeah, they're so out there. The new Scooby-Doo movie, we're apparently getting another one. It is finally depicting Velma as a lesbian. I always thought she had it out for Shaggy, but apparently not. Rule 34
Yeah, no.
lied to me.
What?
Yep, it's fucking sad, man.
Velma and Shaggy were totally a thing. Velma's the one. Yeah, Velma's the one with the glasses.
Yeah,
With
in
the
the
pink-
orange. Yeah, no, she's being depicted as a lesbian now. That's something that's
I
happening.
could have sworn they actually are boyfriend and girlfriend in some of the Scooby-Doo things.
I think so.
I remember that.
Not that it really
Maybe I'm
matters. I don't
misremembering
know
it.
why these kind of decisions matter at
Yeah.
all. Like, is it gonna make it a better movie? I don't think so. The movie will still be
Um.
the movie. Why does someone's sexual preference dictate how good a movie is all of a sudden? It's just bullshit. Um, we have a new Hellraiser movie that came out. Apparently it's pretty good. So
Pinhead?
I've heard.
I haven't seen it.
Have you seen any of the old Hellraiser movies?
I haven't seen him. That's the Hellraiser's the one with Pinhead, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I
I
haven't.
seen the first one a long time ago, and I really need a refresher on it before I can say anything, and I don't want to spoil nothing, but it was a pretty decent time. Old horror movie. Um, Marvel is still churning out a million things. She-Hulk is slowly melting my brain to pieces. They have a new Werewolf by Night. I think that's what it's called. It's like a black and white. Uh, I'm not sure exactly what the hell it is. It's like a short movie, maybe an hour and 20 kind of thing.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah.
that's
thi-
just
I
come out, or it's coming out very shortly to Disney Plus, and it's by a composer it's a film composer that's made the movie who really wanted to and just couldn't step away from directing. Apparently, it's all right. Again, I'm yet to see. Marvel
yeah.
also has.
Sorry to just kill your train of thought for a second,
Yeah,
but
you're right.
to go back to the El Muerto for a second, I
Yeah,
looked him up because I was confused because you said he's a Spider-Man villain. I've never fucking heard of him,
yeah,
and I'm like, I'm on the Wikipedia page for a list of Spider-Man's like supporting characters, and he is basically the only one in this list who does not have his own Wikipedia page.
yeah. That's what I'm saying. They picked the most obscure
Who
and
the fuck is
unimportant
this guy?
character. I think he's a luchador wrestler.
Oh.
That's it. What? How do you make a movie out of that? I don't understand. Like
Make a
this.
movie about Bonesaw instead. That'd be
Yes,
way
can we
better.
have one about Bonesaw? All right, that's what we need. Um, so in other news, Harrison Ford he got emotional while debuting the first teaser for Indiana Jones 5. Now,
What?
yeah, Indiana Jones 5 is happening. Back in 2020, Disney announced in a tweet that the fifth installment was in the works and that Harrison Ford will be back to continue. I don't know why he hates Han Solo so much, but loves Indiana Jones so much that he's like 70 and wants to die on adventures.
Indiana Jones is the coolest.
He is the coolest. Uh, and I mean, I'm not
He literally
complaining.
made wearing fedoras look cool.
Yeah. Yes, he did. The initial release date was set for July 2022, but it's since been pushed back and will premiere next year sometime. The trailer was shown at Disney's D23 Expo back in September, but the trailer has not officially been released to the public. That's why we haven't seen it, and you might not have heard too much. But reportedly,
This is the first I'm hearing about it.
reportedly, Harrison Ford got very emotional and teared up, thanking the crowd. Like he's extremely excited and proud to be doing this again. And I have no idea what the hell to expect. Like, are we really getting a?
Why does he hate Han Solo so much, though? That's what I.
What's that?
Why does Harrison Ford hate Han Solo so much, though? Because Han Solo was also the
Yeah, Han
coolest.
Solo was cool as, and he just can't stand him. I think it might be because of the fandom. There's a brilliant interview out there for I think it was The Force Awakens, where an interviewer is like, "So, who shot first, Han or Greedo?" And he just looks with the most distasteful, upset, old, bitter look and says, "I don't care."
I bet he's been asked that question for years.
Yeah,
Every single time he runs into a Star Wars fan.
yeah.
Okay,
I
now I get it a bit more. But even from like when the first movie came out, he said he didn't like playing Han Solo as much as Indiana Jones, and he wanted Han Solo to be killed off,
yeah.
like in the original trilogy. So you
Yeah,
didn't have to play him anymore. Guess
pretty
what,
much.
loser? Even after he dies, you still have to play him as a Force Ghost in Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, it never ends.
Tucked in.
He asked for in Return of the Jedi, the third one of the original trilogy, for Han Solo to be killed off. And George was like, "No, I won't do it." So it was even back then he was over it. He wanted to be out as soon as he could. Um, the one other thing that I've got left on Marvel stuff is there was another show that they were doing called Armor Wars that's now being converted into a movie. This is about Don Cheadle's War Machine basically trying to recover and deal with all of Iron Man's suits being stolen or replicated and crap like that, which doesn't sound
How
all that
how
enthralling.
often is shit like this gonna happen? Isn't that the plot of all three Iron Man movies?
I don't. I hmm.
Somebody's either making their own or fucking with his suits.
Yeah, pretty much. But the news of this was that instead of a show, it's now being converted into a movie, and I don't know what to think of that. You know, these are
feel like-
things.
I mean, I guess your opinion on Kenobi was that it would have been better as a movie. I don't know if you think that about most of the Marvel shows.
Yeah,
Um,
it's
I
interesting.
feel like there sometimes it would be better to just do a movie instead of stretching it out for like 6 or 8 episodes.
Yeah, the problem with the
Um,
MCU, not just with these TV shows, but as a whole, it's starting to feel very episodic. Like nothing matters.
Yeah,
We're
this
not.
is I
Mhm.
cannot imagine anything that's harder to do in terms of like film watching than trying to get into the MCU as a new thing.
Yeah,
Because I've barely watched any of them. Even like I've watched maybe 40% of the MCU movies.
yep.
Like pre-Phase 4, I've watched nothing Phase 4 except for No Way Home or Far From Home or whichever the one with all the Spider-Man.
No
I
Way Home.
forget.
Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, it's like I could not struggle to like even show an ounce of caring that would put me from watching like 7 different 8-episode shows with each like hour-long episodes or 45 minutes or whatever. I don't
Yeah.
know. And like 15 movies.
Yeah, they're mostly broken up into limited series where there's 6 episodes and an hour long each, or there's about 9 episodes and they're 20 minutes each. The longer episodes are definitely better. They make you wait a week in between each episode, and you feel like just as it's getting going, the 20 minutes is up. You know, I much prefer the way that, Better Call Saul does it. You've got a full length episode. Not that I've had to wait for them, but I much prefer the longer binge session than just it's starting, it's over.
Speaking
Starting,
of
it's
warrior
over.
TV shows, how's She-Hulk going? I always like to check in on that.
You check in week to week, dude, and I somehow die more inside. Oh god,
Oh, they're getting worse.
it's something else, man.
I can't wait for you to make a video on She-Hulk.
It is coming. It's just gonna be me being done. Really, it's honestly I love
your
the
next,
MCU.
like review is for End Game, right?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes,
cool.
that's on the back
Yeah,
burner at the moment. Unfortunately, for anyone that's wondering, it's gonna take a while. Not that it's a
fair enough.
huge ambitious project, but I have to do a lot of stuff and sort it out to get it happening. Oh god, sorry, I'm thinking about She-Hulk now. I was gonna run through.
Your will to live is fading.
There's a scene, and you've probably seen it memed.
I've
Or
seen the
somewhere.
twerking scene.
Yeah, that's the one where she twerks with Megan the Stallion, And
You know, you had to tell me who that even was last time you talked about it.
yeah,
I've never
that's
heard that name before.
I love the MCU, and I've dedicated so much of my time to it. You know, growing up with it. But that's the straw that broke the camel's back. I'm done. I I do not need to watch every show and follow every bit anymore. And that's the problem with this fourth phase is nothing is super important to the overall picture. You know, every single movie from
Can't you
phase 1
wait
through
for
3.
She-Hulk to twerk on Kang the Conqueror?
You know what? If that happens, I'm in. I'm ready. Let's go. Uh,
Yeah,
I
like that's the next villain they're setting up. This like multi-dimensional,
yeah,
full-on
Kang.
guy.
Kang is a
It's like
villain I really enjoy. I actually always enjoyed him more than Thanos. My knowledge of a lot of these characters comes from the cartoon Avengers: Earth's Mightiest Heroes, which is fantastic. It's the spectacular Spider-Man for the Avengers. Um, Not that that makes much sense to you because you need to watch the spectacular Spider-Man, but
yeah,
it's very very good. It does a great job of introducing all these characters. That animated show started like just after the first Iron Man, so Iron Man has, you know, hints of Robert Downey Jr. in him, but every other character is completely comic book accurate, and then they just tell the best stories possible one after another. Um, they didn't get
is
to
it like
Thanos, but
episodic or is it more of a overarching?
an overarching, it's a series, you know.
Okay.
I suppose
So
it can
it's
feel a
like
little
a
episodic, but it's not. It's a series.
continuous story that like builds on it
It
rather
does.
than being
Yeah, it does
contained.
continually build. It has balls. Its first like 6 episodes don't like showcase the Avengers. They just are an episode like entirely dedicated to Captain America and who he is first, and then one for the Hulk, and then one for this character and this character before it has them properly teaming up. And that's, you know,
That seems like the best way to do it.
oh, I know, but you got to imagine, right? The show's demographic is for kids, alright? And you're advertising the hell out of this being an Avengers show and all
I
these
mean, as
superheroes
long as
teaming
kids
up.
all, because like I don't, I feel like as a kid I wouldn't have cared. I'm just like, yeah, superheroes, I love
Well,
them.
imagine like you see the opening titles, it's the Avengers, all of them coming together
I guess
fighting
if you're
things,
like,
and then
I'm
it's
like a
just Captain
die-hard
America.
Iron Man fan, and then I watched like 4 episodes and Iron Man hasn't showed up yet. I
Yeah.
guess that's kind of like, damn, that this is terrible. What the fuck?
Yeah. um. So I
But
thought,
yeah, we were talking about Kang the Conqueror. I
uh,
don't really know who he is at all.
um,
I only know the name vaguely.
yeah, my best knowledge of him comes from that show and a couple of comic books. Um, he's always interested me a bit more. He's even more kind of calm and subtle than Thanos is. But you know, we're yet to see what Marvel's gonna do with him. I'll stick with it, I guess. I really don't want to have to finish She-Hulk. 2 more episodes to go. I can do this. I can do this.
But that's kind of what I was like. I was kind of getting at. Like, this guy's like a huge deal, and they're introducing like new street level heroes.
Yeah. Uh, yeah. Look, we'll find out when we get there and we cross that bridge. Just before I leave today, I thought it'd be a fun idea to just run through Marvel movies like phases 1 through 3, and just find out which ones you've seen and which ones you haven't.
Okay.
All right. So the first up is the first Iron Man movie. Have you seen it before?
I feel like all of Phase 1 I've watched with you.
You might have.
I
I
know
would have
we've
been in
watched
Adelaide.
a fair few of them. Like, we've watched the Iron Man, we've watched Captain America, and we've watched Thor, the first one,
Yep.
and the Avengers.
Yep. There's only
Um,
2 more from Phase 1. Yeah.
I've seen the Hulk with Edward Norton.
Yeah. And then
Actually,
there's Iron Man
oh,
2. That's also part of Phase 1.
but you know, when I said I've seen the Iron Man, I meant all three.
Oh, alright.
Um,
Well, you've seen all of Phase 1 then. So Phase 2 is when we get into, so Iron Man 3, which you've said you've seen.
yeah.
Thor: The Dark World, the
No.
second Thor. Yeah, I don't really blame you.
My
it-
mum has seen it though.
It's not that bad, but there's nothing that like it just has no flavor to it.
Actually, I want to I mentioned Hulk. I wanted to bring up real quick because I think you said you liked in the Hulk movie that they didn't have him look like a fish.
What?
I remember that being in your review that you really liked his design in Abomination.
Oh, Abominations. Yeah.
Design.
Yeah, as far
I
as a
saw-
redesign goes, I really liked what they
Doesn't-
did.
Is I'm not sure if this is true because I haven't seen She-Hulk, but didn't they bring him back and make him look like a fish?
Yeah, he's got the fish ears now, or lizard ears, or whatever the fuck. Yeah.
Is it the same one
Yes.
with Tim Ralph?
Yes.
So why does he look different?
It's been 14 years, and they're like, yeah, we're doing a redesign.
But he looked so sweet with like the exposed ribcage and shit.
Yeah, it's different. They wanted to take what was already established and then just make him as comic booky as possible. I wish they just kind of
Weird
stuck
that
to
they
their
would
guns.
choose to build on the Incredible Hulk movie.
They consider it canon. It was the second movie of the MCU.
I mean, I know they consider it canon, but I feel like they could, especially saying as Mark Ruffalo doesn't play the Hulk in that movie. I feel like they would kind of sweep it like aside and not really.
No,
But I guess it does. They do have that reference in the Avengers to a scene that didn't even make it into the actual cut of the movie.
Yeah, they've got that. They've got Robert Downey Jr. shows up at the end of that film.
Yeah, I guess. So
yeah.
we're going for Phase 2 movies. I barely remember any of their names.
Okay, so the next one after Thor: The Dark World is Captain America: The Winter Soldier.
Haven't seen Winter Soldier.
That's like top 3. It's one of my absolute favorites.
Mentioned you love it.
Well, what they did was they had the first Captain America. It was kind of a fine origin war movie. Then he's there in the first Avengers, and he kind of looks ridiculous in the bright blue. And there wasn't too much to him. That movie, The Winter Soldier, is the movie that made him cool, at least for me. They said, let's just make a high intensity action movie, you know. And
I've seen a clip of him like punching somebody on a boat, and they snap their fucking spine.
Oh yeah, that's the kick. Like yeah. Yeah, they toned the color palette down to that like kind of gray look. It was very much an action movie, and ever since that movie, you see it kind of in.
Actually, I do have a funny anecdote. I remember I forget what I was at the cinema for, but I remember being in a cinema and seeing the big poster for the Captain America: The Winter Soldier, and I thought it was called Captain America: The Winter Solstice.
Okay.
So it's just about Christmas.
I'm not sure what to take from that, man, but cool. Yeah.
I thought, they're just making a Christmas movie
Yeah.
about Captain America. That sounds
Yeah,
a
well,
bit
that Winter Soldier movie, it really rippled its way through, people trying to recreate that feeling again, just by color grading it the same, but it's not the same. From the Civil War to what else is there? Like the Black Widow movie, the Falcon and Winter Soldier. Shit.
Yeah. We'll just keep going through them in order, though.
Yeah, but Captain America: Winter Soldier, that's definitely one. There's the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie.
Seen.
Yep.
That's pretty good. I like that one.
Yeah, I like it. It's alright. I think it gets overhyped a bit.
Yeah.
For me, I honestly
It's
like
not
the
like-
second one a little bit more than the first.
I have the same opinion.
Yeah. But after
I
first
really
Guardians, the second Avengers: Age of Ultron,
Seen that.
Ant-Man,
Seen that one too.
then Captain America: Civil War.
Haven't
But-
seen
yeah.
Civil War, and I barely understood what was going on.
Oh, dude, but
I
James, like,
think I might know now why.
yeah, well, see, that's to do with Winter Soldier.
I'm just like, who the fuck are half these people?
Well, you've seen all the movies like leading up. The only
I
one you
haven't
missed
seen
was
Winter Soldier.
Yeah, Winter Soldier was the
That's
only
the
one,
one
and that
like,
introduces
Bucky and stuff. stuff.
Yeah, that introduces the Winter Soldier. So in Civil War's all about the Winter Soldier still. Yeah, I understand that you're a bit lost. But Spider-Man's there, that's why everyone went to see it.
Yeah,
First Doctor Strange movie.
have seen that one. I think that's pretty cool. I like all the trippy stuff.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
a
no,
bit
it
of
was
a
good.
shallow reason to enjoy the film.
No, it was good. Well,
Um,
Kevin Feige promised that we would see something we'd never seen in cinemas before, and I think that was pretty true for the time. Then we got Spider-Man Homecoming.
Seen that.
Yep. Thor Ragnarok.
I have seen Thor Ragnarok. I quite enjoy it.
It is. That's one of my favorites. Again, in that top 3 for me. Then there's Black Panther.
Have seen it.
Avengers.
That's Black Panther's a little less positive in my ratings compared to the other ones I've seen.
Yep.
I didn't come out of the cinema quite enjoying my time with it.
Yeah.
Because at the time, I don't remember when that came out. That was 2016.
Oh no, 18 or 19.
18, yeah. Even at the time, I wasn't. I've noticed recently I've started watching films with a more critical eye.
Hey, I'm rubbing off on you.
But even I saw in the cinemas how fucking bad the CGI in the final fight scene is. It completely ruins the entire. As far as I'm concerned, Black Panther was completely ruined by the final fight scene. Not that I was really enjoying it up until that point.
It's very much become a belt of we're just constantly distributing stuff without care because we have deadlines.
Yeah.
My problem, I don't hate the movie at all. I think I still gave it a positive grade. I thought, it's good, but the problem for me was that because it had somewhat of a decent villain, that somehow made this movie the second coming of Christ. And I'm thinking, no, just because they've got a slightly good villain doesn't excuse everything else. It's not the best movie I've ever seen. I thought it was alright, but everyone just overblowing it.
Oh man, I remember seeing it's people think that it's as a villain, he's I guess he's an alright villain. But I've seen people saying he's this is one of the best written villains in history. This is gold standard in cinema
for
writing.
me, gold standard villain in comic books, Heath Ledger's Dark Knight. Joker, the Dark Knight. That's the gold standard for me. But anyway, moving on from that, there's an Avengers Infinity War.
Seen it, obviously.
Ant-Man and the Wasp.
No, have not.
That's alright. That movie basically just exists to tell you what Ant-Man was doing during Infinity War because he's not there.
Yeah.
Then there's Captain Marvel.
I have actually not seen it.
That's alright. You're not missing much. Then there's Avengers End Game.
Yep, seen that.
And Spider-Man Far From Home, the second one.
I have not seen Far From Home. I still barely know what happens in that movie. Mysterio comes and trolls everyone.
I'm glad you haven't. That's probably my least favorite Spider-Man movie of all time. Don't like it. Not at all. Well, you have seen almost all of them. I would say you sit more around the 90% mark on all 3 phases. You just Thor: The Dark World, the second Captain America, the Winter Soldier, Ant-Man and the Wasp, and Captain Marvel. I think that's it. But the latter 2 I don't care about. Thor's Dark World's
when
okay.
we get to phase 4, that's when you'd just be listing this one. No.
Black Widow, the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, WandaVision, Eternals, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, Loki, What If, Hawkeye, Thor: Love and Thunder. It's so much. What else is there? There's they're doing the second Black Panther. They got a Blade movie in the way. They got Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. They got She-Hulk coming out right now. Miss Marvel came out. The Ironheart show's coming out. The Secret Invasion show's coming out. Armor Wars has now become a movie. The I Am Groot shorts have come out. We had Moon Knight. Guardians
is
of the Galaxy,
completely like going
Hollywood.
over my head.
Yeah, dude, there's so
This
much.
is in one ear and out the other.
I-
I'm not following at all.
No, it's okay. There's just
Um,
that much stuff, man, and I haven't even gotten like halfway. But
Yeah, it's
anyway,
a very. Yeah.
I think we've gone on for long enough. We've been going for like
This
an hour and a half at this
You could
point.
say that this podcast has had a lot of tonal whiplash.
Got him. Perfect way to end it.
Because we just like 40 minutes in, we just completely changed the topic.
Yeah, well, that's what we do. We talk about the movie, the main subject, the meat of it, and then we just talk about a bit of movie news and what's going on. And anyway, we ended up talking about the MCU, and now we're here.
So how do you want to wrap it up? I guess we
hit us with a fat joke.
Yeah,
I'm putting you on the spot.
fuck.
Don't worry, people have had this happen to them before. They're thinking I'm a cunt, and they're not worried about you hitting the joke right now. They're like, this fucking guy, he's just screwing his friend here.
This is. Oh, I'll get you for this one, you villain. This is. Oh, this is quite a mischief you've got me in now.
It's okay, you don't need to hit me with the joke. However, it'd be really cool if, like, next week, since we're talking about a movie that is the equivalent of a huge joke, that you maybe bring a few jokes.
Yes.
Anyway, guys, that's for next week. Thanks, everybody, for coming and hanging out with us and listening to us talk about Whiplash and a bit of the MCU. We hope you had a good evening, because these come out in the evenings where we live. And hopefully we can catch you guys next time. Bye, guys.
Bye.